Hey, speakers, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and let's get started. Hey, my speakers, how's everyone doing? I am back. Once again, happy Easter to everyone. Hopefully, you are having a blessed day. I decided to come back and kind of go over and do a recap of the after show that Mel and Carlos did over on his YouTube channel. Just in case you hadn't gotten a chance to see that, I will go ahead and kind of give my opinions and reviews on that. Now, of course, before we get into it, go ahead and like and subscribe and turn on those notification bells. And let's go ahead and get into it. So, of course, here tonight, Carlos always, do his after show on his YouTube channel. So, tonight's guest was Melody, and it was a great surprise. And when I tell y'all, it put me in a whole nother space with Carlos. So, big ups to Carlos. So yeah, so they actually started out the show, of course, and I am loving his closet reviews, should I say. He got all the shoes. But anywho, y'all, they kind of start out, and Carlos says, "Let me make and get one thing clear. The millimeters be coming for me, but baby, I am the king of the millimeters. He just wants y'all to know he the king. So y'all can say what y'all want to say, but he is the king. He is what made the millimeters. Yeah, you got it? Okay. All right. He want to make sure y'all got it. Anywho, he then goes on because we all know if you're a fan or if you watch Carlos and his after shows, he called his subscribers the raindrops. And he asked Melody, who do you think is the messiest, the raindrops or the millimeters? And of course, Melody was like, the raindrops, say, because they is always full of drama. And he said something in some big word, and she was like, see them, they all educated. And so they kind of laughed or what have you. And he went on to say that he had to give her props because Love and Marriage Huntsville is the number one show out of all shows, scripted and unscripted. They are number one on the OWN network. So congratulations to them. And he went on to ask Mel, did she ever think that she would be on a number one show? And she said that no, she never really thought about it, but it doesn't surprise her. She feels as though she planted, good seeds, and pretty much when you plant good seeds, you expect a good harvest. And this is her harvest. She is reaping her harvest of all the seeds that she planted. So then Carlos goes on to say it's the level of loyalty of the fans that pretty much keep this show going. And Mel said that she think that people kind of gravitate towards the show, and I think I've even said this before, they gravitate to the show and so loyal to the show because of the realness that they bring. And a lot of people can relate to a lot of things that is happening and playing out on this show. And I have to agree. I mean, what we have witnessed, it's a lot of people that have went through similar situations. The business end of it, divorce end of it, co-parenting, all of that. It's basically this entire show is pretty relatable. It is relatable. And Mel said that she wanted to thank him for everything. He said on the episode of the 100th episode. And remember, I said in my review that we always kind of side eye him when it comes to Melody, but in that 100th episode, pretty much she was the highlight of that episode. And I even seen on some of those Facebook fan pages or whatever, they had a problem with that. I even seen what someone, I think I had posted in one of my videos, where someone actually added him and wanted to know why did she get all the spotlight on the 100th episode when they have other beautiful couples on that show. It's not just about her. I don't know where people keep missing the memo. I don't know if the Goodyear blimp need to fly in the sky and let them know. But really and truly, let's just keep it 100. She has the most motion on this show. On top of the fact, she's the executive producer of the show. She's the producer of the show. Duh. Number one. But number two, she has the most motion on the show. Please fly the Goodyear blimp. Do something to let these people know what's really going on. Carlos said that regardless of what people say, that him and Melody are really close. He said that he was recently going through some things, and Melody was the one that reached out to him and was like, "Are you good?" He was like, and he appreciate that. And people tend to think that he is against Melody. He said, but what they don't know is behind the scenes, him and Melody is real cool. That also, he said that what surprised him the most with the 100th episode is when the fan had highlighted their most memorable time was the clip with Melody looking out the window in the red dress, the one that I had said, and she was saying that pretty much she was having to find her way by herself. It was time to let go and let things go and do it on her own. And that was pretty much, that's when her and Martell were actually parting ways. And he said it was so touching to him because that particular scene is one of his most favorite scenes because that changed his life. Now he didn't elaborate on it, but he said that really touched him. And it did. I think for a lot of people, I think even the fan that said that scene was the scene that really gave her the motivation to walk away from a toxic situation that she was in. So he said that, Mel said that sometimes it could be who you're with that's stunting your growth. That sometimes when you go through life and everything is failing and you can't seem to make it out and it's always drama and chaos around you, you have to look at who you're connected to, because pretty much once you remove those people from out of your life, you start seeing your harvest. You start seeing everything and all the seeds that you've planted, you'll see where they'll begin to blossom and grow. But at the end of the day, it goes back to God don't bless no mess. So sometimes we stunt our own growth just from the people that we may be attached to that may be stunting the growth. So that was a word. So then he goes on to say about Melody. I mean, not Melody, I'm sorry. He goes on to ask about Stormy and about them not talking. How did she feel about it? Mel said that she did speak to Stormy at the reunion to clear that up. So she wanted to be known why she's saying that I didn't speak to her. She said, yes, I did speak to her. I even told her how beautiful she was at the reunion. Mel said that a lot of things that she said kind of contradicted itself. And I think Mel is kind of going back to, you said on a reunion, I wasn't your friend, but now you keep throwing the friend word out. Like what? But she said that, she was the one that pretty much welcomed Stormy on the show. And Carlos kind of chimed in and said, yeah, you really did. He said, I had an interview with her for Bell Collective because she was from Mississippi, but she wasn't from Jackson. So it kind of really wasn't working. So when Mel called him about Stormy, he was like, oh yeah, I know her. She live in Huntsville now. And pretty much that's how she was introduced to Love is Marriage Huntsville. So yet again, Mel brought Stormy on the show. Mel said that it always comes back to bite her. She said, she's just always been one of these type of people. People can tell her what their vision is and what they would want to do. And if she know a way that she can get them connected, she's going to do that. She said, but it always wind up coming to bite her, bite her in the behind. And she mentioned Kiki, so I don't know where she was going with that, but I guess, maybe because she's the one that brought Kiki on the show. She didn't elaborate, so I don't know if it's going to be a conflict with her and Kiki, but she mentioned that, Kiki also, she brought Kiki on the show. Carlos said, do you feel like you don't get the credit for bringing people on the show? And Mel said, yeah, it's, I get overlooked all the time. And Mel said, yeah, I'm sorry, Carlos said, yeah, because it even goes back to Destiny. He said, I don't even know if you know this. He said, but I had interviewed and consulted with Destiny and LeBeric before you ever said anything about them. And pretty much the way he was saying it, it was like he had interviewed with LeBeric and Destiny, and it wasn't a go for him. He said that production didn't really care for her, and they were not going to be a part of the show. But Melody was the one that went to bat for Destiny to be on the show. There you have it again. And Carlos also said it has always Mel has always had, the best interest for the show. No matter who she brought on, it was always, what she felt would be the best fit for the show. He said people tend to think that Melody go out and get people to come for people. You remember they were saying that Kiki was only on the show because Mel wanted her to come for Letitia, and also about, I think, with the lady that was supposed to had been dating more so, or however they were saying Mel was trying to get her on the show to come for the marriage. And he said that is really and truly it's not like that. Whenever Mel has actually, pushed for someone to be on the show, it's what she felt was the best, option for the show at the time. And he said no, but Mel don't bring people on the show for mess. He was like, so I just want to clear that up. And Mel said, yeah, because I don't go around giving out resumes for Love and Marriage Huntsville. She was like, people come to her and ask to be a part of the show. So pretty much everyone that we have seen that she has brought on has asked to be a part of the show. She didn't ask them, they came and asked her. So also Carlos went on to ask her, do she think people have befriended her just to be a part of the show? And she said yes. She said, pretty much you can look at it from, from how it is. They pretty much have befriended me to come a part of the show. She said, but I can see clear now. And where people might been able to kind of get over on me, and me being the type of person I am that give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Now in 2023, Mel say, nah, hold up, stop. She's more careful about doing things like that. So Carlos also asks, does she miss her friendship with Destiny? And pretty much she said that she really don't think about it. She said she really don't think about it. She said that she feels as though what people kind of don't really know is that her and Destiny hadn't been that close that long. They got introduced like in 2018. She said, and during that time, Destiny didn't even live in Huntsville until her and LeBeric got married. And she said they became close then, but she said it's not like they had been close like her and her other friend that had been friends since college or from elementary school. So she was like, she just don't even think about it. And he pretty much went on to say that what he loved about this coming season is the fact that you could see it's a journey of healing. And pretty much he said that Mel pretty much allowed Letitia in her space. He said that we're going to be able to see where they're able to kind of sit down and kind of come back together. And he said, I have to admit, I was shocked. He was like, I was definitely shocked. He said, what kind of work he had to ask Mel, what kind of work have you done to get yourself to this point where you could do that? And Mel said that pretty much it's a part of her healing, and healing is not for the other person, it's for herself. And she said, this is not about her. This is about me. She also said that she has learned how to be in the same room with someone and be cordial, speak, and then go on about her way. She has realized that just because she be in a room with someone or speak to someone, that doesn't necessarily mean they have to be friends. And then she also said, and then also it's work. She was like, also it's work. She say, we not about to sit up here and act like you and Angela didn't come to Huntsville and have a sit down. We ain't gonna act like, that ain't happened. And he pretty much went on to tell Mel that, and that's how I know that you really care about this show, is because you took what I said. He said, and it's not like her job was up or anything, but he said you took what I said and you used it, and here we are. He said it has been times that he have told other cast members on other shows or however, and it went in one end, went out the other. And he said that's how he her loyalty to this show. And he said that he feels that Mel don't get enough credit. He said that he honestly feel that he don't get that she don't get enough credit. They said that, even a conversation with Kimmy, and say that Kimmy highlighted it's back to the core six. And he was like, well, what about the core six? So it sounds like to me that Kimmy don't care nothing about Lou and Tiffany or Stormy and Courtney. All she care about is that core six. And you know what? Really and truly, I'm with Kimmy. I ain't gonna even hold you. So Carlos said that people has messaged him about replacing Wanda with Betty and Stormy replacing with Destiny. And he asked Mel, what does she think about it? And Mel was like, well, why they're asking you that, because from what they have seen, what it looks like at this point. The clips that has been shown, it looks as though here it is yet again, I'm battling with another woman of age that could be my mama. And then we also have this person that's coming on here, one minute I'm a friend, and the next minute I'm an associate. So it seems like it was an even swap with the people. And so Mel said that she don't know Stormy mama. She said she can't speak on her. She said she not even in my age range. And when I tell you, Carlos almost fell out the chair laughing. Carlos is goofy. He is goofy. And she said that it's just weird. She said, she hopes she don't never get in a place where she's sitting up there going on social media talking about her kids' friends. She said that was just really, really weird that a woman of her age would even be worried about what she got going on. She was like, me and you ain't gonna hang together. Why are you worried about me? And that was a little shade, but it was good shade. Because why are you worried about her? Okay. Carlos also said that Love and Marriage Huntsville is a pop culture show because everyone watch. He said from clear people to older people, say everyone watch. He said that he could be in TSA and they notice him. He could be on a plane, say that the person next to him is going to talk his head off about Love and Marriage Huntsville. He said that it's pop culture and everyone from every group and, ethnic background tend to gravitate towards Love and Marriage Huntsville. He said the millimeters need not even worry about Melody. He said, because one thing for sure and two for certain, Melody is going to defend herself. Say Melanie has no problem with defending herself. So he was like, the millimeters can cool out because when Melanie say it is, that's what it is. And that's period. Also, Carlos said that, how do you feel about people saying that you can't keep friends? And she said people have a problem when she tend to back up from people. And she said, but it, you know, that's because they only see what they see and they don't see, what's going on, behind the scenes. And she said she has real friends that she's had for years. Anybody that she has ever, backed up from, however, that she did it for a reason. Also, Carlos asked about Martell, and pretty much he asked her, does it make you uncomfortable because does it make you uncomfortable because you don't want to send mixed signals? And Mel said yes. She even thought about walking away from the show because of that. She said that, she feels that he takes her speaking during a scene or something, he take that and run with it like, oh, he have a chance that they are getting back together. And she said that's not gonna happen. She said that he's one way on the screen, but off the screen he is totally different. So it bothered her when people tend to say, oh, she too hard on him. You don't know what has been done or said before the camera start rolling, or what, we all know they going through a custody battle, but then he'll get on this show and act like everything is peaches and cream. she said that it has been she said it's been so many times that she has thought about just walking away because she feels as though she's walking a thin line. And Carlos said is that they don't that's the reason they don't make her do anything or pressure any of them to be in scenes or go places they don't really want to go, because they don't want to put them in uncomfortable situations. And pretty much she was saying that people don't realize what have taken place or what's going on in their personal lives, that that would make a situation of coming film together very uncomfortable. He said that they are really the first couple that has actually gotten a divorce but still remained on the same show together. And he said that he knows that that has to be tough. And he said, well, since we doing exclusive information, he said, I'm gonna say this exclusively. Melanie Cherie ain't going nowhere. She ain't going nowhere. And pretty much how I took it, in my opinion, he was saying Martell will go before Melody will. And there you have it. You heard it from him. Now, maybe them wasn't his words, but what else could he have meant? I don't know. It sound like to me he's saying all of them could go, but she ain't. All y'all could go, but she ain't going nowhere. He said what he said. Did y'all hear that? Did everybody hear it? For the people in the back, did they hear it? Type it in the comments. She ain't going nowhere. Okay. Anyways, Mel said that, yeah, she agreed. Production has never pressured her to do anything, and she don't feel like production actually forces anyone to do anything. And what this tells me, because it was a lot of the back and forth with people on the YouTube streets of, oh, she had to go to Destiny's event, or she had to do, and clearly they're saying they're not made to go anywhere. So even when we seen her at the little expo that the Scots had a couple of weeks ago, she is going and doing this to be supportive of these people, despite how they feel about her and how they do her. She is saying that I'm still trying to support you regardless. So no, she wasn't made to go anywhere. She wasn't made, to do anything, because they say they don't make them or pressure them to do anything. And he said that he was like, this is like being, at your house. This show is their house, and he never want nobody to feel uncomfortable in their house. Carlos said, I got to have to go ahead and ask you, because everybody is asking. And Mel was like, what? Do I have a man? Is he coming on the show? It's like she already knew. And he was like, well, yeah. And she was like, yes, she does have a man, but no, she has no intentions on bringing him on the show. She said she feels as though, pretty much she lived out everything that, on a show. She shared everything with her divorce, her custody battle, everything has been presented. And this is the one thing she has for herself. And she said, and another thing, she said she already know when you do such things as that, it only opens up Pandora's box. And it does. These people will be going and they will be like, what is that? Ancestry.com. They'll be knowing the man grandma name, great grandma name, everybody. They'll know everything about him. They'll know more about him than he know about him. So I don't blame her. I really, really don't. Carlos said that he appreciate that, her boundaries. He said, and he think that that is great. He said, because in this type of business, you have to be careful because people will tend to gravitate to you and, you know, get in these relationships only to get to be a part of the show. So given the fact that, this is not what that is, it means that this is real, because we all know that if it was a man that had the wrong intentions, he would be peeking his head out, to make sure he's seen, or even probably pressuring her about being on the show. So clearly this is not what that is. And he said that he applauded her for having her boundaries. And, he said whenever she's ready, he said he'll get that call saying, King, and he said, and he's welcome at any time. So there y'all have it. I honestly feel that, you know, overall, this was a great interview. It was much needed, because it does make you look at Carlos, for me. And now he could be pulling a Martell, but then what would be the benefit? What would be the benefit? He's sitting there side by side with this person, so it's not like he could tell no lie because she's sitting right there. So he said they speak all the time, they talk all the time, they're closer than what we think they are. And I guess it is what it is. So we got to take it for what it is. But great interview. I'm glad she cleared up a lot of things. So pretty much, and I think I left out one point where pretty much, yeah, we all know that the Scotts were brought on by Mel as well. So, make sure that they know that she ain't going nowhere either. You got it? Okay, good. So, anywho, y'all, that was pretty much it on that great review. If you want to check that out, it is on Carlos King's page. So you can go and check that out. But go ahead and comment down below. Let me know, how do you feel about some of the things that was said. Let me know if you got a chance to even check out the interview. How does this change your mind and, how you look at Carlos King? Do you think that, this is giving her flowers? To me, I feel like he gave her flowers. She really did, he really did, and she deserved them. But anywho, y'all, that was it. Again, enjoy the remainder of your Easter. Have a good Sunday and be blessed, y'all. Until next time, y'all have a good night or good morning, good night. It's night for me, y'all, but y'all will be seeing this video in the evening. So have a good evening. Bye bye.